Hey everybody, it's me, Aiden from Red Rock TCG, and I'm here with another week of One Piece OP-17 reveals. This week's kind of funny because it's mostly commons and uncommons. I'm sure we're going to be waiting another week or two before we see any more like SRs or secret rares. But let's check out what we get. So for red, we have a new 2-cost blocker. Lets you play a cost 1 wipe your pirate type from your hand when it gets KO'd. This is kind of nice if you really want to run a 2-cost blocker, since they're pretty easy to pop. Having it so that if it's at least KO'd, you're still getting something from it. You can play like a search from your hand or something like that. It's really not that bad an effect. Um, but like, do you really want to run it? um, Certainly, there's a possibility that this becomes playable, but I think in terms of deck space, it's just kind of hard to run an effect like this when it's not really that impactful. Next, we have a card that is very exciting for me. I'm a red green Odin diehard enjoyer, and this card represents that maybe a lot of these Wipe Your Pirates cards are going to be very focused around Land of Wano as well. So this is a 3-cost 2K slash with 2K counter. And it says on play, up to one of your Land of Wano type characters or up to one of your characters with the type including Whitebeard Pirates gains Rush during this turn. So this is Inarashi and Nekomamushi. They are Whitebeard Pirates and Land of Wano. My main and Minx. My main thing with this is it's kind of too expensive. Um, 3 Dawn is a lot of Dawn to give something Rush. Like obviously this can give any Whitebeard Pirates or Land of Wano card Rush, so it is like somewhat good. But I think as it stands, it's a little bit hard to, use this card for much, for like going for lethal or anything. It's kind of tough. That being said, yeah, if we have a lot of ways to play it for free, or if we have ways to search it very easily, like it's slash searchable if you're Red Green Odin, this could be a really interesting card. And lastly, the thing that might make Odin very playable is Red Ezo. This is maybe one of the most busted rares in red. I can't think of anything as good as this. It is a 4/6 no counter. Of course, in Red Green Odin, this has counter. It has character rush, just natively. Then on play, if your leader is either Edward Newgate or has the Land of Wano type, you can give one of your opponent's rested characters minus 6,000 power. So it's really good for taking back something that has swung already. It's basically can challenge any card except the 10 cost Rogers, right? Like everything in the game is 12k or lower, and this is a 6. If you give it minus 6, Izo literally just like has the ability to challenge any card in the game for 4 Dawn. And then you can use the rest of your characters or just your leader swing to really ensure that that happens. This is a really strong removal tool for a lot of these really big decks that we're getting. So it's very interesting that Newgate is also able to use this card since they're also kind of going tall. So I can see this being like something that gets used in the mirror a lot. So next we're going over to green. So we've got um, Building Snake, who's a 4/5 1K slash. On KO, he KOs a rested 6 cost from your opponent's board, and he has Activate Main, give to one rested Dawn card to your Shanks leader. So very, like a pretty strong on KO, but it's definitely something that's easy to play around, right? If your opponent just really wants to kill this thing, it's only a 5k. They just don't rest any of their 6 costs, and boom, you're not swinging with this thing, and you're not putting an extra Dawn on your leader. It's very similar to like the OP-16 Black Ace, but it's not much I would say it's a little bit weaker, right? It only gives it to leader. The on KO of discarding two cards is like it just means it's never getting removed by KO. But overall, it's an okay card. I can definitely see this being like played, especially if Shanks ends up having ways of playing lower cost slash, like if he ends up running the 6 cost Mihawk. But I think the much stronger card for Fordon is this Hongo. It's a blocker. It lets you set one Dawn active, then also rests two costs or less. So against Luffy and Enel, this is a great way of stalling a weenie and being able to swing into another one while developing a blocker. It's also a 2K, which is just really good for matchups where they don't have any low costs that you want to get rid of. You can just keep it in hand and you have a 2K. So really, it's quite good. And we also have another anti-weenie card. They really want to give Shanks a lot of anti-weenie cards. So this is Fugar. He's from the red-haired pirate allies, so he might not really be searchable. However, he is slash, and he is a 2K. And he has, when attacking, if your leader has the red-haired pirate type, rest one of your opponent's characters to cost 2 or less, and then on KO you draw a card. So if your opponent leaves it alone, you get to get rid of one of their weenies. But if they want to get rid of it, they are. It basically didn't mean anything. You spent one Dawn and you cycled. Uh, so overall, I think this is still like a very good one. Uh, there might not be enough space for it, but I think it is pretty good. Then here we have the real bomb. This is Rockstar. So he's a 5/6 slash with a 1K counter. That if your opponent's leader has 6K power or more, you set a Dawn card as active. Activate main, by the way. Then your red-haired pirate type red-haired pirate type leader's base power becomes 6K until the end of your opponent's next end phase. This is a consistent way to keep parity with leaders who can buff their power or whose whole thing is buffing their power. Obviously, this was designed so that Shanks could reasonably beat Mihawk. Um, but it's also just so good. It's slash too, so if I think there's like good reason to run the 6 cost Mihawk and Shanks because you can play this out on 6 as well as developing another 7K that's gonna draw you, trash you. I think Shanks will probably end up pushing Nami out of the meta. I don't think there's any way for her to really survive what Shanks does every turn. He can very easily deal with almost all her characters, and then when going for lethal, she loses all her blockers, which is what the deck is mostly geared around. But like Ace and Luffy found dead. Like, there's no way they can beat Shanks. I think. Even with some of the good cards that are coming up for purple for Luffy, I think most of the current leader power up leaders are just gonna feel pretty irrelevant when they have to face down Shanks. Next, we move on to purple. I think this is probably one of the one of the cards that's definitely gonna get run for sure. It's a very good anti weenie in purple. Like maybe Kaido just doesn't need this, but I think pretty likely this will stick around. It's a 2/3 with 1K counter, which is a good stat line that has a trigger to play it and has on play Dawn -1 KO two of your opponent's characters with a cost of 2 or less. So really great for just getting through a bunch of weedies. It's great for triggering uh, in the end game if your opponent plays low cost blockers and you trigger this. That means like when you go for a lethal next turn, you have like way less problems to deal with. Very good, I think. And only needs like 2 Dawn to be able to swing a 5K leader. Next, we got Mid Maria, Black Mid Maria. It's a 2 cost blocker that has the effect where you can trash a card from your hand for plus 1K counter once per turn on an opponent's attack. It's a side grade to EBO4's Charlotte Pudding, right? This one is only 1K counter, but you can trash any card, whereas Pudding specifically needs you to trash an event. I think they're both pretty weak. Like sure, more counter good. Um, but like it's so easy to remove that your opponent can probably just get rid of it before they even swing once. Like you might not even ever see value from playing it. So I think this is not that great. Certainly not the worst card ever printed, but not great. Now for really good cards, for purple, we have the lead performers. So this is a 9/11. Uh, it has on play Dawn -1. If your leader has the Animal Kingdom Pirates type, add one card to the top of your deck to your life cards. So it's a free heal, which makes sense because you're going to have to trash this to play another card from your hand later on if you don't just want to leave this on the field. Maybe you really want an 11k, but probably not because there's at least one of the cards that you can play off of this is very good. Activate main, you may trash this character and then play a king, queen, or jack from your hand. So first we have the king. This is a 9/10. It's a blocker that has a better version of that Black Maria effect we just saw a little while ago. On opponent's attack, once returned, trash a card from your hand up to one of your leaders or characters, gains plus 2k power during this battle. Like, this is pretty good. My only problem with it, and the reason I think most people won't be playing it, is that your 6 cost king can't activate his activate main if you have this character on the board. Um, And anytime you're Dawn minusing more than one in a turn, I think the fact that you can get an active Dawn out of this king and this 6/7 king is very hard to remove without being able to like bottom deck it or negate it is like a much greater boon than having like a 10k blocker. Like a 10k blocker is really good. Um, but it's not like it's no it's not an extra Dawn every turn. Like ultimately, it's just not that. I think there's like a possibility that people run this like at like 1 or 2, but I think it's probably a bit unlikely, especially when we look at Queen. This is also a 9/10. It has Banish, which is probably the strongest keyword right now. It gets printed on very little cards. Um, Banish, for those who don't remember, if it deals damage to the opponent's life card, they don't add it to their hand. They trash it immediately. They can't activate trigger. It's just gone. So Banish is like, especially in today's meta where yellow triggers every time and all their triggers are very impactful, this ends up being like a very good effect. Then not only is it a 9/10 with Banish, it also has on play Dawn -1, draw a card, then up to 2 of your opponent's characters with a cost of 5 or less cannot attack until the end of your opponent's next end phase. So this is the one I'd be more interested in running. It's an uncommon, by the way, which is kind of crazy. Um, since if you heal the life card and then play this out, you will be hand neutral really because like the life card that you take will eventually refill your hand. Like you're only going down the 1 to play the character in the first place, and you're stunning 2 or can't attack. I think that's freeze. I don't know. You're freezing 2 five cost characters. Uh, really good. Just a very good like play. Getting some free defenses, like much more free than the 9 cost king, and you're also getting some very strong attacking power the next turn. I think like this set of 9 costs leads me to believe that Kaido won't be able to ramp to 10 on going first or 10 going second as easily as he will going first. So they're probably not making like 2 Dawn ramp or anything for him. And they're expecting that like Kaido players will get to 9 because they'll like ramp once, then won't, or like will ramp once but not be able to king or something. I'm not sure. They're just expecting like Kaido players to not always have 10 Dawn, which is nice. But I'd rather just always have 10 Dawn because those 10 cost blockers, I kind of want those out on the battlefield before I play these. Anyways, still really strong card. Next on, we go to black. Black has the most cards revealed so far. So this Sanji is a 2/2 1K that it has the same, like, if there's a character that costs 12 or more, it gains plus 2,000 power that we saw in Usopp, except he just draws 2, trashes 2. I think this is, like, by far the weakest black Straw Hat Crew card we've seen so far. Draw 2, trash 2 is almost unplayably bad. Uh, I can't think of a card that draws 2, trashes 2 that's, like, meta relevant. Anyways, we also have Brook. This one, same kind of deal as Sanji, except it's on play if there is a character with a cost of 12 or more, your opponent trashes 1 card from their hand. So pretty good thing to reanimate with, like, the 8 cost Luffy. You get a 5k swing later, and then it's also gonna just trash a card right away. Pretty good. We have Frankie, which all these 2 costs have the same thing where they can become 5ks. And then this one, if there's a cost of 12 or more, you get to KO a 2 cost or less. So good anti-weenie, but only if you already have 12Ks out. So it's more better for getting rid of small blockers later on. Next, we have Jinbei. This guy, same text as the others, where he gains the plus 3k, but also gains blocker if there's a 12 cost or more. Considering that most of the giants will be blockers because of the leader effect, I think this card's, like, not super crazy. Um, but, like, if you just need one more blocker, there you go. But this is probably the craziest 2 cost. This is a really strong one. This is Gerd, who's a 2/3 2k. Whoa, right? That's a very competitive stat line. Then it also has plus 12 cost, as long as your leader has the Elbaf type. And then on top of that, you get to trash a card from your hand to add any 8 cost or less other than Gerd from your trash back to your hand. This is a very strong card, in my opinion. If you play a Luffy, then you play out Gerd, then you trash a card to put another Luffy in hand for next turn. Whoa, there you go. Or you can play this and grab Loki really easily. Super good. Lastly, we have Dory. He gains plus 12 cost, and then if your leader has the Elbaf type, you get to play a Bragi from your trash your hand with a cost of 5. So the 2 of them will probably play each other out, sort of, sort of like the Yeti brothers from OP-10. The downside is after you do that, you can't play another character card, but that's probably not much of a downside if you're playing that on curve. Okay. Moving on to yellow, I think we have one of the worst cards ever printed. This is a 5 cost 0 power 1k, where on play you trash a card trigger from your hand to bounce a character with trigger to its owner's hand. This, I think, is particularly weak since you are not gaining anything from playing this. You're spending 5 Dawn for it, and the majority of the time, a lot of trigger cards have very good on plays now. Your opponent's probably just gonna play it again and get the effect a second time. Like, yeah, you delay a swing, but for 5 Dawn and you're not doing anything else, and you're actually trashing your card in hand as well, I think this one's pretty weak. It's definitely up there. It's definitely top 5 worst One Piece cards. Now, a stark departure from that, we have Charlotte Smoothie. So she's a 5/4 1k counter. She has your turn on play. You may rest 2 of your Dawn cards. Add up to 1 card from top of your deck to top of your life. Then your opponent trashes a card. It also has trigger play this card. If you trigger it, you won't get the effect, but that's fine because that would make this slightly balanced, right? 7 Dawn to heal 1 and trash a card from your opponent's hand is pretty good. Like, that's just pretty good. Um, this card and the next card from yellow makes me think that the new Charlotte Linlin Big Mom leader is going to be really annoying. Uh, constantly gaining a lot of life and trashing your hand size a lot. We'll have to see as this comes out. But this pudding is a really strong 3 cost, 3/4 1k counter with a trigger search, and then it has on play trash any card with trigger from your hand to draw 3. So you're going +1. Then if you trigger, you're getting a search out of it. It's a 3/4, so it'll be buffed by the Big Mom. It's just really good. It's also the fact that a lot of these cards are positively netting cards or are additionally punishing your opponent for discarding down cards means your lead effect is just going to be so much stronger. If your opponent's constantly making you discard to heal, then you can punish them by then you can like offset that by playing pudding and getting those cards back. If your opponent's not letting you heal and they're discarding cards instead, that you can play something like Smoothie to get the life anyways, and your opponent will have to discard another time. So I think Big Mom's going to be a very strong, very annoying leader to battle against. Um, but I think also another general observation from a lot of the cards they've shown off is that commons and uncommons are becoming a lot stronger in OP-17. Like even over like OP-16, like how many OP-16 commons and uncommons are very playable? Not really that many, right? But in OP-17, so many of these commons and uncommons are like very good. And then the rares are just insane. Like this pudding's insane, the Ezo's insane. Rockstar is an uncommon, I think, and he's very good anti like he's like specifically good against one type of leader, but being good against one type of leader is what a lot of cards do, right? So yeah, the game's really changing. I think Bandai's seeing that the game's gotten so strong that they need to make commons and uncommons for like newer archetypes a lot better to keep pace. Like if Shanks didn't have all these really good commons and uncommons, would he be able to be nearly as strong as they probably want him to be? Probably not. Same with Lin Lin, same with Newgate, same with Kaido. If they didn't have, same with Luffy, if they didn't have all these very good like support cards to support the main things this deck is doing with its like SRs or secrets, I think these decks would be like kind of rough. But with all these cards, they're quite good. So yeah, that's basically everything that's come out to time of recording. I am feeling a little bit of worry for the power creep, but other than that, I think like there's a lot of fun stuff in here, especially for Red Green Odin. Yep, that's right. It's Red Green Odin's era, baby. Red Green Odin.